This is the first in a series of dimensional analysis and unit conversions for chemistry 103. This is section 1.6 in your text. So it's often useful to be able to interconvert between different units. Much of what we're used to is the English measurement systems in pounds and miles and inches, and oftentimes most of the rest of the world and most of science works in the metric system. So it's important to be able to interconvert in between them and to understand the metric system and be able to interconvert within units there. But there's a couple of examples that I just pulled out here. 12 inches is how many centimeters, 53 kilos is how many pounds, 4 ounces is equal to how many milliliters, 14 fluid ounces is equal to how many milliliters, okay? So in your book, this comes from the text that we're using this semester, Adams First, second edition. It's table 1.6, but it's just, it's a table with going from different units. So we have length, volume, mass, and I'm just gonna highlight on here the units that we'll be using here. So we had inches to centimeters. So this 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. That's one that we wanted to use. Going from kilograms to pound, we're going to use this equivalency. 1 kilogram is equal to 2.2046 pounds. And I think we're going from ounces to milliliters. So we're going to have a couple more in there, but we're going to use this 1 quart is equal to 0.94635 liters. For the most part, I think you don't need to memorize this table, but you need to have access to it or one similar to it so that you can do these conversions. So like I said, we're going to pull this out, this 12 inches, the equivalency, the conversion that we have is 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. We can set this up if we're going from inches to centimeters. We're going to want to have a conversion factor that looks like 2.54 centimeters per 1 inch. Or if we're going from centimeters to inches, we can set this up as 1 inch over 2.54 centimeters. And it doesn't, because they're equivalent, when we set up this fraction, it's essentially like multiplying or dividing by 1. We can do a unit conversion using these conversion factors. And same thing across the board. But let's, I'm going to clear this out and we'll take a look at these one at a time. So converting centimeters to inches, we have 12 inches. We want to know how many centimeters. This is from our table, 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. We can set that into an interconversion, like I said, either 1 inch per 2.54 centimeters. This is useful when we're going from centimeters to inches, or the 2.54 centimeters per 1 inch if we're going from inches to centimeters. So whenever I set these up, I always start with what I know. So I know, let me pull up my annotation here. I know that I have 12 inches, right? That's what we start with. And we want to go to centimeters. So I kind of put 12 inches on one side and centimeters on the other side of my page, and somehow we need to get there. So 12 inches, we have to determine which one of these we want. So we have inches here. We want to get rid of inches. So we want to put inches in our denominator. And we want to go to centimeters. So centimeters goes in our numerator. And now we have to take the numbers that go with this. We have this 2.54 with our centimeters, 2.54, and 1 goes with our inches, okay? So we're using this conversion factor here, okay? And when we do that, 12 times 2.54, we get 30.48. 30 point, oops, sorry. 30.5. I'm going to put this as 12.0 so we can have 3 sig figs. Okay. And here our inches cancel with our inches and we're left with centimeters. And this is how we want to set these up. You can, I know this is kind of foreign when we're doing these conversions at the beginning, but I can't tell you how many times on exam I forgot a formula and I did the dimensional analysis to get through it. It's really powerful. So converting kilograms to pounds. Again, we had 53 kilograms. We want to know how many pounds. We have 1 kilo is equal to 2.2046 pounds. So again, we can set this up as 1 kilo divided by 2.0246 pounds or 2.2046 pounds per 1 kilo. So again, we want to set it up that we want 53 kilos. That's where we're we're starting with 53 kilos and we need to get to pounds. Okay, so we're gonna multiply by a conversion factor. Now again, we have kilos here. This is like over 1. We want to get rid of our kilograms. So that's going to go in our denominator. So we're going to use this conversion factor. So we put our 1 with our kilograms. We want to go to pounds. So this is 2.2046. Okay. So when we do that, 53 times 2.2046, we get 117 pounds. And again, I'm going to make this 53.0 so we can have 3 sig figs there. Okay. So again, our kilos cancel and we're left with pounds. Converting from fluid ounces to milliliters. We have 14.0 fluid ounces and we want to go to milliliters. And I wrote down all of the conversions that we need. We need 1 quart. This came from this first 1 quart came from that table. 1 quart is equal to 0.94635 liters. 32 fluid ounces is equal to 1 quart. That's something that's kind of like common knowledge. You can Google it. I know that there's 2 cups in a pint and 2 pints in a quart. So there's 4 cups in a quart and there's 8 ounces in a cup. Anyways, you can look that up. This 1 milliliter is equal to 1 times 10 to the negative 3 liters. That's another conversion that we can do that's tabulated. And I'll make a separate video just about understanding the metric system in this series. Okay, so again, we start with 14 ounces or 14.0 fluid ounces, and we want to know how many milliliters this is. Okay, so this is like 14 fluid ounces over 1. We want to multiply this by a conversion factor. We want our fluid ounces in our denominator because we want our fluid ounces to cancel. So this should be fluid ounces here. And we look here, we have this 32 fluid ounces is 1 quart. So we want to put 32 here and our 1 quart here. So when you do this, our fluid ounces will cancel and then we'll be into quarts. We need another conversion factor to go from quarts to liters. So we have this here, we have 1 quart is equal to 0.94635 liters. Okay, again, we have quarts in our numerator. We want to put our 1 quart in our denominator. So we're going to have our liters up top, and the number that goes with our liters is 0.94635. And finally, we need to go from liters to milliliters. So again, we have, let's see, let's put this in green. We have this conversion factor here. 1 milliliter is equal to 1 times 10 to the negative 3 liters. So we have liters. We want our liters to go away, and we want to be left with milliliters. Okay, so now we just have to put the numbers. This 1 goes with our milliliters, and this 1 times 10 to the negative third goes with our liters. Okay, and so now we can just go across here. Our liters will cancel here. Our quarts will cancel here, and will be our fluid ounces already canceled. So we're going to be left with milliliters, which is where we want to go. So we can multiply everything that's in our numerator, and then we're going to divide by everything that's in our denominator. You want to be really, really careful when you're working in this scientific notation that you put this into your calculator correctly. You either need to use your EE button, or you can put everything in parentheses. So, so let's do this. This is 14.0. We're going to divide by 32 and then multiply 0.94, what was it, 94635. And then we're going to divide by 1 times 10. Where is my EE button? 1 second, EE negative 3. So we get this, if you put it into your calculator properly, you get 414 milliliters. Okay. So here, this was a couple of steps, but if you set it up all linearly and go with the things that you know, you can work your way through it. And in the end, you want your units to all cancel out so that what you're left with is the units that you want. Okay. If you need more help, we are here at the Tutoring Center to help you succeed. We want to help you. You can schedule your appointments through academia. I assume that you've found our YouTube page, so you can, there is a video on there on how to schedule an appointment if you haven't done that before. There is also a YouTube video, I think it's by Organic Chem Tutor, that really goes through all of this unit conversion, and I will try and get them to put a link under this as well. Slide templates is by Carnival Slides, and again, that table was from the online version on OpenStax of the book that we're using this semester.